You're listening to In Sumter with Sarah Jane, a show about celebrating Sumter, a part of the Item Podcast Network, presented by SKF. Hey, you're In Sumter with Sarah Jane, and I am Sarah Jane, local real estate agent, and we're going to do your monthly market update, and we're going to go over what happened in June. We've got 3 topics today. We're going to go over interest rate, correction in the market versus a normalizing market, and our market plus what's next. So let's get to it. So as of June 2nd, the interest rate was 5.09%. As interest rates rise, historically, the prices have decreased, but that's not expected to happen this time. On average, a house is expected to appreciate 9% just in the year 2022. So our expected appreciation is to continue. Now, this interest rate increasing is affecting affordability of houses. So I did some math before I got here. Our average home price in Sumter is $240,000. At 5.09% interest rate, I'm not including insurance and I'm not including taxes, just the mortgage would be $1,256. If that interest rate went up to 6 on a $240,000 house, your payment would be $1,401. So that's sometimes hard numbers to digest. So let me put it this way, that if your interest rate bumps up a whole percentage to keep the same payment, instead of buying a $240,000 house, you would need to purchase a $215,000 house. That's a difference of $25,000. So it makes housing less affordable. What is causing this? We have more buyers than we have houses. We've been going through this housing shortage. We were in a housing shortage before we hit the pandemic, pre-pandemic times. And through the pandemic, there were a ton of people that started moving. We sold 6.9 million houses in the United States in 2020. We're expected to sell between 6.1 and 6.9 in 2022. So we still have people moving and purchasing. Okay, affordability, interest rate. Now, I want to mention one more thing about the interest rate. It's predicted to plateau at this number. We don't know if it's peaked yet, but we're going to start seeing more plateauing numbers as we get into that 5 and 6% interest rate. Now, correction versus normalizing. You might hear people on the street say, oh, the market's correcting itself, or whatever. Correcting means that the price has decreased 10% or more of the value has decreased 10% or more of an asset or a house. This appreciation moving through this year, 9% on average across the country, 9% appreciation. So we're not in a correction, more of a normalizing, more of a turning point from what we've been seeing through these pandemic years of pricing, putting in an offer, putting in an offer over asking price, paying your own closing cost. I don't need a warranty. I'll buy the house as is. I'll buy it over asking. You can stay there for a week after we purchase it to give you time to move your stuff into the next house. All these other extra terms that get you the winning bid on a house. As we move into this normalizing market, we're going to see it return to pre-pandemic years, 17, 18, 19, where in Sumter, that meant your average days on market would be closer to 3 months. Instead of getting over asking price, you would get 98% of asking price. It's still definitely, the market that we're in, still definitely a seller's market, but it's more of a turning point, a normalizing, headed toward being equal again, where the buyers and the sellers come to more of a fair agreement between the two parties, not as much competition. Because with that rising interest rate, you're going to see buyers leave the market. But, well, let's say that for what comes next. So our market, let's talk about what happened in June. In June, we sold 155 houses. May, 126, April 95, March 164. So we're just for March, it's pretty sporadic. But 155, July is expected to be the same or more house sales in Sumter. Our average price went up to $242,900 from $236,000 last month. Our average days on market went down by 7 days, and the percent of listing price that a seller got for their house went up a percentage. While in May, a seller could have put their $100,000 house on the market, they would have received $97,590. In June, a $100,000 house on average would receive $98,700. So you see that little increase and the shortening of days on the market. So June was a pretty competitive month. As of today, this is one of my favorite parts, telling you what's available. As of today, right now, 187 houses are available to purchase. There are 434 on the market, but of those 434, 247 are under contract. So 187 of them are available to actually purchase, and that is Sumter County. I like to keep track of what percent of houses available on the market to purchase versus under contract, pending, and available, all included. We've been keeping pace with 30% availability. So if you had 100 houses on the market, 30% availability would mean that you had 30 houses available, 70 of those would be under contract. We're creeping up this past month, June, 43% availability. So we are seeing an increase in listings to purchase. I think as far back as in February, we only had 117 available, and we've seen that number increasing as we move through these months and into summer and fall. That's what's happening in our market. That 43% availability, that is that normalizing trend that we're watching of we're seeing more houses on the market, we've got more inventory for longer, and predicted more buyers coming into the market. So we are losing some buyers as the interest rate spikes for a little bit. But after that initial spike and we see this plateau, this interest rate plateau, we're going to see more buyers come back to the market. Mainly millennials. Millennials are the second largest generation after baby boomers, and those millennials are buying first homes, and not only first homes, but some of them who were on that first wave are moving out of that first home and into a second home. So this is the driving force of buying, of the buying population, moving those houses and putting on that pressure to send those prices higher. Okay. So we're going to see that continue. And as I said earlier, 17, 18, 19 pre-pandemic, we were at a 5 to 6% interest rate then. We're going to see terms come back that are similar to that time. So maybe an average of 3 months on market, having your house a little pristine when you put it on. You might see offers that aren't as is or not over. We're not there yet, but that's what's coming to us. And that's everything. That's our market update. So feel confident moving through. If you still have a house to sell, it's still a great time because you're still on that cusp of being in a seller's market. If you're a buyer, the interest rates are going up and down, starting to plateau, but the sooner you get involved and start your process, the more control over you have what's going to happen with your deal specifically. I hope this helps. This is Sarah Jane, and this is your monthly market update for June. Have a great day.